Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News, and we're doing a Nintendo Historia where we're going back on the Wii U Autopsy, which basically talks about how the Wii U did, all that sort of thing, what it got right, what it got wrong, and my own personal thoughts. But this video is about what they got right. Of course, there was a lot of things that the Wii U generation got wrong, but there was some little things that they got right. Be interesting to see what you think of that too. Now, of course, the number one thing that the Wii U got right, which is fairly simple for Nintendo, is exclusive games. So that is the reason why people buy Nintendo consoles is, well, they've got the exclusives. And they've got all the first-party games that people want to buy. However, I would say there are two games that kind of stand out for me in terms of a really good sort of generation of games, and that is Super Mario Maker and Splatoon. I think Super Mario Maker is potential of new franchise that could continue to do very, very well and continue to be made into future games. Now, of course, it makes it a little bit hard with not having a touchscreen for the Nintendo Switch, but I'm sure they might be able to find out ways to get around it. Of course, you can just bring up a different screen for all the things to add on to it. They might find a way. But the other successful one was Splatoon. That was the huge new IP that came and sold over 4.7 million copies on the Wii U. And that is a huge number and a big percentage of people buying the game, which has been very, very successful. Splatoon 2 is now coming out for the next console, the Nintendo Switch. And that does show that Nintendo is putting a lot of faith into this franchise, which is fantastic. The other things that the Wii U did right was probably backwards compatibility. Not only you can play Wii U games and virtual console games, but you can also add your Wii stuff to it. So you could use Wii remotes and your old games and things like that. And you had a huge amount of control accessories in that, which I think even probably at this time has become fairly confusing to some. I think Nintendo wants to cut back on that. But the interesting look at the backwards compatibility is also the virtual console. That will also be a big weapon that Nintendo will be using with the Nintendo Switch, being able to play Super Nintendo games and N64 games and DS games on the go on your Switch. And that was another positive that they did, despite the drip feed of virtual console games. It was a very nice feature to have, and it was nice to be able to actually download Wii games as well, which is very, very nice. I think that there was also some very good indie game support in terms of very creative and open to different games that the Wii U did have, and some very good success stories too. Of course, we won't name them, which I'll talk about in my personals videos. But what I was happy about was seeing a varied amount of games, of indie games on the eShop, and people, really trying to be innovative with the gamepad. And I think some indie devs tried harder than some of the AAA publishers in terms of trying to figure out what you can do with this gamepad or not. And apart from that, there's probably just the main positive things about the Wii U, sadly. There wasn't a lot to write home about the hardware. And of course, some people would have enjoyed the gamepad as a second screen where you're watching normal TV. And that would have been a really good feature. However, most people already have two TVs, or two TVs and a computer monitor screen, and all those sort of things. So I think in that way, it didn't really mean much to us as it might have meant to people in Japan. But based on the sales of Wii U consoles there, it didn't do well anyway. So, but apart from that, there were some positives with the Wii U. Great software, played well, no big day one patches or anything like that. You could plug an external hard drive to the back of it on day one. But it'll be interesting to see what people will think of the Wii U in years to come will be like Nintendo's own version of the Dreamcast, in terms of it was a beloved console that didn't do well. Who knows? But that's it from me, and I shall see you next time.